The Civil War Augmented Reality Project was conceived by several public educators with technology experience and a desire to offer more interactivity to students and the general public visiting historic sites. The objective of the project is to develop and implement augmented reality services related to the American Civil War in Pennsylvania, and to modify soon-to-be-released tablet personal computers to allow the general public a chance to experience the applications. The project's inception is planned to give ample development time in the run-up to the sesquicentennial of the Civil War, beginning in 2011, and the 150th anniversary of Confederate General Robert E. Lee's invasion of Pennsylvania in 2013. It is hoped that early support could generate interest in Maryland and Virginia. I think it would be best to explain the project through a few scenarios, each describing a different facet of our project. A 10-year-old student stands with a few of her classmates at Devil's Den in the Gettysburg National Military Park. After crawling around on the rocks, she believes she may have found the location at which Alexander Gardner took his famous photograph, A Sharpshooter's Last Sleep. At the press of a button on a small electronic tablet she's carrying, she holds up the tablet in front of her, and the original photograph appears, superimposed on the background captured by the tablet's camera, and is displayed on the tablet's screen. She asks a classmate to hold the tablet, then steps into the tablet's camera's view and has her friend snap a photo of her standing in front of Gardner's image. The girl then sends the photo via the tablet to other classmates and her teacher. A family visiting Lancaster County, Pennsylvania with interest in the Civil War decides they don't have time to visit Gettysburg. However, they learn the importance of the towns of Columbia and Wrightsville, Pennsylvania in the Civil War, and they decide to visit. The mother has an iPhone and found out about a free app that offers activities for families related to the Civil War in Pennsylvania. They discover an activity that they can complete by walking and driving. The kids and their parents spend the day searching for historical sites in Columbia. As they visit the sites, they become part of the story of Columbians preparing for a coming Confederate invasion. If the clues offered by the app are followed, the family is shown 3D models along the way using their iPhone. And the culminating activity they discover is the burning of the Wrightsville-Columbia Bridge across the Susquehanna River to thwart the Confederate invasion. As they stand on the banks of the Susquehanna in Columbia and hold their iPhone up in the direction of Wrightsville, they see a 3D model of the now non-existent original bridge spanning the river. A middle-aged woman and her husband walk into a store in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. They notice the familiar sight of pay binoculars, often seen at scenic overlooks. Upon approaching the device, they peer inside and notice a view of the earth from a few hundred feet above the store. As they tilt and swivel the binoculars, their view changes appropriately. They notice upon swinging to the southwest, icons and information are displayed in the real locations of Greencastle, Mercersburg, Chambersburg, and Shippensburg. Zooming in with buttons on the binoculars, they spot a Civil War monument in Greencastle they've heard of, and read the information about the site. Zooming back and swiveling toward the northeast, they see icons located at Mechanicsburg, Lemoyne, and Harrisburg. Until now, the couple was only aware of the Civil War events at Gettysburg and had little or no understanding of the rest of Pennsylvania's Civil War history. In the binoculars, they spot a 3D model of the National Civil War Museum in Harrisburg and decide to take a drive the next weekend, following the progress of Confederate troops in 1863. They pick up a brochure and note the web address for further reading. They notice a large monitor screen suspended near the binoculars, showing real-time web video of people using the binoculars at other locations. A group of sixth graders are moving toward Little Round Top at the Gettysburg National Military Park, and they learn from the tablets in their hands that there is an activity for them to complete. Their teachers divide them into two groups, one at the base of the hill and one above. Each group of students find out that their groups are to complete several steps as fast as they can. The Confederates at the bottom of the hill must rush to a few nearby locations to gather supplies. The Union soldiers on the hill must move all of their members into appropriate locations for the defense of the hill. Once the Confederates at the bottom complete their tasks, they must rush up the hill. If the students at the top of the hill complete their task before the Confederates reach the top, they win. All of the students are then shown a video explaining the importance of the defense of Little Round Top to the Union victory at Gettysburg. If the Confederates reach the top before the Union students are ready, the Confederates win. The students are then shown a video explaining the possible repercussions of a Confederate capture of Little Round Top. The students can then switch groups and try it again. So what exactly is the augmented reality and the Civil War augmented reality project? Well, according to Wikipedia, augmented reality, also known as AR, is a term for a live, direct, or indirect view of a physical, real-world environment whose elements are augmented by virtual computer-generated imagery. As a result, the technology functions by enhancing one's current perception of reality. Sports fans, in fact, have been appreciating augmented reality for quite some time. The reality of a hockey game has been augmented by a glowing hockey puck, making it easier for television viewers to watch the action. Fans' view of the reality of a football game has been augmented by the glowing first down line projected across the field. Similarly, advertisements at international soccer games are also projected directly on the boards that are outside the field. The development and success of the Civil War Augmented Reality project is dependent on three key technologies. Firstly, the augmented reality applications themselves. Secondly, the tablet personal computers modified to work in the Civil War Augmented Reality project. And finally, the stationary binocular installations. Our augmented reality applications will initially allow users with iPhones and Android devices, digital compass required, to view the relative locations of points of interest when holding their device in any particular direction. This functionality will be expanded by our project to the use of tablet PCs. It is also possible to view 3D models and images projected on the landscape, and possible to track the arrival of users in particular locations. This tracking is quite useful in creating interactive contests and can also be used to give rewards to the user. If, for example, a user completes a task and is rewarded with the ability to view a 3D model, the user can snap a picture of the model with his or her device. Users may also be able to unlock secret sites and collect images of them for bragging rights. The augmented reality experience will surely improve in the near future. The advent of the iPad has driven tremendous public interest in tablet computers, but unfortunately the iPad has no camera, which is a requirement for the AR experience. This shortfall by Apple is already leading to a mass development of tablet PCs driven by the chance to offer a better user experience and more capabilities than the iPad. The effect on augmented reality in the near future will be fantastic, as the user experience will now take place on a much larger screen, driven by much faster processors. But what about people who are unfamiliar with smartphones, tablets, or augmented reality? The project proposes to construct stationary AR devices patterned after the Pay binoculars often found at scenic overlooks. Rather than offering a view of the nearby scenery, the devices will offer a virtual geographic view from a few hundred yards above the user. Physically swiveling the viewer left and right changes the direction of the view in real time, just as swiveling up and down changes the view. The intuitive nature of the device is intended to invite non-tech-oriented people to try the experience and to learn more about the Civil War experience in Pennsylvania. It is proposed that these stationary binoculars be set up at locations across the region. In order to give the user a sense of the historical and transportational interconnectedness of each location, a nearby screen will project real-time webcam images of people using the devices at other locations.